buy and distributed 1.6 million chicks. In trade, I did mention the markets, but let me talk about the KAIPs, the County Aggregation and Industrial Parks. Already 35 counties have commenced the construction. Most of the KAIPs are at advanced to mid-level stages across the participating county governments, the 35 of them. And I want to say that we are proud to say quite a number are almost in completion, with Meru leading at 99.3% completion, followed closely by Embu at 88%, Garissa 88%, Kirinyaga 86%, Migori 85%, Wajir 80%, Kisii 80%, Busia 79.2%, Machakos 74%, Kwale 69%. We want to thank His Excellency the Deputy President, who has provided leadership in ensuring that the first 11 counties will be able to be operationalized between mid-year 2026 to end of 2026. There's some moderate progress also happening in various other counties. Homa Bay, Bungoma, Uasin Gishu, Kakamega, etc. And we are very, very grateful. We have also, each country has been able to look at, identify their value chains and come up with the implementation plan. And that is work we are doing very closely with the county, with the national government. In the area of blue economy that I think you all heard, there's a lot of work going on. Counties have distributed about 760,000 kilograms of fish feed to farmers and constructed 12 new fish markets across 10 counties. Additionally, 22 beach management units registered as cooperative societies that have been established, especially in the 7 coastal region counties. On education, Your Excellency, we have enrolled in pre-primary education levels 1 and 2, and we have been able to increase our numbers from 2.9 million compared to 2.8 million in the previous year. And we have, for the first time, developed scheme of service for our pre-primary education teachers. We have also employed 79,864 teachers across the different counties. Our main concern though, sir, and I think we mentioned it at the summit, is counties have bursaries but are unable to disburse the same because of the challenge we are having with the controller of budget. We kindly request that you consider helping us to be able to handle that matter so that we can unlock this big problem. For now, we are completely unable to give the bursaries. As I come to the end, I want to request, we are happy, Your Excellency, that the two National Assembly and the Senate did pass the law that allowed for the independence of our county assemblies. And I want to say, as a Council of Governors, we were in full support of that. We feel it is the best way forward. But we want to request in the NADCO report, Your Excellency, other than pensions, there was also a request to institutionalize the ward fund, just like the national government, the CDF fund and the GAF. So we are requesting that this be expedited so that these MCAs can continue to do the great work they are doing through their ward fund. Your Excellency, they are saying if you do this, you'll have your 2 and even 4 term, if it's possible. Thank you very much. It's a very, very weighty issue, and we fully support it. Your Excellency, as I add, I want to say this, and here now allow me to just say one word as the chair of the UDA party. you'll all agree with me that the amount of work that has been done by this government is more than any of us even used to imagine had happened. And so this National Governing Council gives us an opportunity to live here knowing what has happened and to get the right messaging when we go to our villages, to our counties, to our wards and our constituencies. Your Excellency, I wish to tell you this, sir. I can see Dennis Itumbe is talking. I want to tell something to our party leader. Sir, we believed in you when we made you president in 2022. And today, more than any other time, we believe in you more. And I want to take this opportunity to congratulate you for the great work you have done. You are full of energy. You're a man who works tirelessly for this nation. And for us as a team, we want to confirm to you that we support you 100%. In the midst of all the noise that has happened, especially in the last 2 years, we can see the amount of work you've done. We can see your vision is finally coming to fruition. The story of Singapore is no longer a dream. It is going to be a reality in this country called Kenya. And so as you continue, may we congratulate him because he's the most courageous leader I have seen in my entire political career. Courage to be able to make political and policy decisions that he knows will help the country in the future, even if in the short term it is unpopular. Shah was the most unpopular. Isn't that the truth? But today, just talk to all of us here. We have less harambes to go to. And even when we are called to these harambes, we have less money to contribute because Shah is working. So I want us to all confirm to our president that going forward, we will do what we must do to make sure we get our second term. And that, Your Excellency, when you're coming on the ground, even the PSs, the CSs, if they are coming to a particular county, a particular constituency, a particular ward, and you have members who support the government in those places, please let us know, because we want to be there to scream loud the work you're doing for us. And finally, let me appreciate your deputy president. The fireman himself. First of all, I keep telling you that fire and Norma and Bwekse gave us fresh impetus. And we want to thank you because we've seen you crisscross the entire country, talking about government programs and projects without fear and with clarity. And today we have confirmed as you stood here that, Your Excellency, this was the best decision you ever made. And so, we will continue to support you, Your Excellency, the Deputy President. And please continue to ensure there's fire across the entire country. Continue to give the President the much needed support that he had lacked for 2 years. And Your Excellency, Paul, for what happened for 2 years, we didn't know you are suffering in silence until this guy came. So we are happy that you are making it. And you're doing a great job, Mr. Fireman. Kindiki ni fire, see fire. You have the support of the entire leadership of UDA and the affiliate parties. Thank you very much. May God bless you. Long live William Samoei. Asante.
as the President will guide us to conclude this very long but important agenda. Endelea tafadhali. Hata wewe ni fire.
Asante. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, the President and our party leader, William Samoei Ruto, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Prime Cabinet Secretary, our top party leadership, colleague members, Excellencies, the governors and deputy governors, members of Parliament.
Harambe, UDA, kazi ni kazi, kazi ni kazi, hapo sana.
By heartily congratulating you and thanking you very much, Your Excellency. You know, of all political parties in the Republic of Kenya, it's the UDA which have the highest number of MCAs in its top making organ, the neck. We are 6 of us, Your Excellency. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, I want to thank you because, as has been said here, already you have signed the autonomy bill into law. Now, we want to beg you, and I say this on behalf of my colleague MCAs. We don't want, when our party leader, when the Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces of the Republic of Kenya, when he has signed something into law, implementation remains the key word, and it should be implemented as fast as possible. Your Excellency, these colleague MCAs, they've requested during the past, and they still insist every time we are conversing, they say when they talk about World Development Fund, it's not money that goes to their pockets, but money that goes to the citizenry in their wards. Your Excellency, because our MCAs ndio jeshi yako ya ground. Sisi, we are not demanding, Your Excellency. You are our boss. We are humbly requesting, ikiwezekana, hawa jeshi yako ya mashinani, they see World Fund kabla tufike kukukampenia huko bele. Your Excellency, mambo ya basali imetajwa hapa. Sisi kama jeshi yako ya mashinani, ni vizuri tukujulishe, na komptura wetu pia asikie hili. Hii pesa ya basali, saa hii, kuna watoto wanapata matatizo huko chini. Kwa hivyo hiyo pesa ya basali nayo irudishwe, county ziruhusiwe, basali ipeanwe pale kwa ward. Your Excellency, nikienda kumalizia, kuna hii mambo ya empowerment imekuwa hapa na pale na wajumbe wetu. Ikiwezekana, jeshi yako ya MCAs wanataka kupeleka empowerment kwa ward zetu, ndio wakipeleka pale wanasema William Ruto ni 2 term. Na hata kuna wengine wameanza wanasema Professor Kidiki ni 4 term. Hiyo yote jeshi yako iko tayari kufanya. Nikimalizia, we thank you very much. You know, Your Excellency, you rightly keep observing, you have a deputy who is a professor. And the professor is the person in charge of devolution. I want to finish by quoting 2 of his statements. Number 1, tukiwa kule bele, because your re-election campaign, Mr. President, will be built on this. Your deputy, Judy alikuwa anatuongoza, akasema, nenda kumwiratiriri, tugathura wa muthende, wa muthende, wa muthende. Na wa muthende akapita, Your Excellency. Ya pili, nikimalizia, akasema, wewe Goliathu, siku ya Haramisi tutakumalizia. Na hata siku ya leo tunasema hivi, wewe Goliathu, umetusi rais wetu sana, umemuita Kasongo, Mwaka ujao tunaonana na wewe. Ukatusi deputy president wetu, ukamuita soprano wewe. Na huyu ni profesa. Huyu ni profesa. Next year wewe Goliath tunakuangusha chini. William Ruto ni tudam. Asanteni sana.
Oh la la. Fire, see fire. Mimi naomba, because what I want to do now, so that we make progress, His Excellency the President will come and summarize for us this agenda, and also we make a resolution. And the other two agendas are shorter. This was the longer one, but it was the most important because it was about our scorecard, our work as a party and as a government. So I want, before I call the President, please stand up and stretch out kidogo. UDA ni fire, si fire. Nikisema UDA, unasema UDA. Kazi ni kazi. Kazi ni kazi. Rais ni fire, si fire.
Aya, tafadhali tunaza keti. Huyo deputy wangu ni fire, si fire. Wamesema ni fire sana. Basi naamini ya kwamba sisi zote tumesikiza kwa makini scorecard ya serikali ambayo imeundwa na chama yetu ya UDA na marafiki zetu. Na kabla sijaendelea, kati yetu tuko na marafiki ambao wametembea na sisi hii safari. Wameungana na sisi katika kuunda serikali ya Kenya Kwanza. Hata wale hatukuungana na wao katika serikali ya Kenya Kwanza, baada ya uchaguzi wamekuja na tumeshirikiana na sisi, na kufaulu kwetu pia wamechangia sehemu kubwa. Tuwapigie makofi jameni. Tuko hapa na wanachama wa chama ya Ford Kenya, wapigie makofi. Are they here? Wanaweza kusimama? Some of them are there. Tuwapigie makofi. Thank you very much. Tuko hapa na wanachama wa chama cha Chap Chap wako kati yetu, tuwapigie makofi. Hapa tuko na wanachama wa chama ya Jubilee ambao wameshirikiana pamoja na sisi, tuwapigie makofi. Asanteni sana waheshimiwa. Tuko hapa na wanachama wa CCK, sijui kama wako humu ndani, kule nyuma wapigie makofi. Tuko hapa na wanachama wa UDM walimeungana na sisi, tuko na Gavana Mahmud hapa na viongozi wengine kule nyuma. Asanteni sana. Sijui kama kuna chama ingine nimesahau. Tuko na Wiper, wale wamekuwa katika chama cha Wiper wako hapa, wapigie makofi. Ile ya Tujibebe, wale wa Tujibebe wako hapa, wapigie makofi. Tuko na chama ingine, chama Kenya United Party ya Lonyengapuo wameungana na sisi. Tuko na chama ilikuwa ya Isaac Ruto, chama ya CCM, pigeni makofi, wako hapa. Asanteni sana. Tuko na ODM, tutasema maneno ya ODM baadaye. Tuko na chama ya KANU, na watu wa KANU wako hapa. Wapi watu ya KANU wasimame? Chama yetu ya zamani, karibu sana, asanteni sana. Tuko na chama ya DP, yuko hapa Bwana Mondigi, asante sana. Na tuko na watu walichaguliwa kwa independent, wasimame. Hawa wote, lakini sasa hawa wote ni jeshi yetu. Na tunasema asanteni sana kwa kuungana na sisi. Sisi tunasema karibuni, tutatembea pamoja na nyinyi, kuunganisha Kenya na kuunganisha Wakenya wote. Mimi nataka nichukue nafasi hii in a very special way kurecognize ndugu yetu Musalia Mudavadi na chama ya ANC. Former members of ANC wasimame tuone jameni. Hawa sasa wanachama walikuwa wa ANC, sasa ni wanachama wa UDA. Tuwapige makofi. Asanteni sana. Na mwisho kabisa, mimi nataka tukubaliane hapa ya kwamba tumesikia kwa kirefu implementation vile tumetekeleza manifesto ya Kenya Kwanza. Si ni kweli? Tumesikia kutoka kwa profesa. Huyu profesa hata kwa maoni yenu anaelewa hiyo kazi ama haelewi? Si ametueleza vizuri vile tumesonga mbele na manifesto ya chama na vile tumetekeleza. Unajua Kenya hii kuna watu wa porojo mingi, propaganda mingi, kule kwa social media imejaa fitina, hakuna kazi imefanyika, wale walituambia uongo. Lakini tunasimama hapa leo ili wale wanasema ya kwamba tuliwaambia Wakenya uongo waaibike. Leo tunasimama hapa, scorecard yetu inaonyesha wazi ya kwamba yale makubaliano tulikubaliana na Wakenya, manifesto Wakenya milioni 7.2 walipigia kura, imetekelezwa almost 80%. Maneno ya uchumi ni vile profesa ametueleza. Uchumi ya Kenya sasa iko imara. Maneno ya kilimo, tumesukuma kilimo sasa inaeleweka wazi. Hata tukizungumza hapa leo, tayari tuko na magunia milioni 8 ya mbolea ya msimu wa long range ambayo tayari almost 3 million bags iko katika stores zetu. Wakulima wanaweza kuanza kupanda from now mpaka April. Last year tulitumia magunia 10.1 million bags of fertilizer last year. This year we are estimating 12.5 million bags of fertilizer, and already 3 million bags are in our stores. Another 3 million bags are already in Mombasa on its way to the stores, and we plan to use 8 million bags in the long range between now and April, May this year. So our commitment to making sure that we transform Kenya is solid, and it is on a solid foundation. Vile profesa ametueleza mambo ya ufugaji, hata ile sex cement ilikuwa shilingi 8,000. Today sex cement for our dairy is 1,400 shillings from 8,000. And that is why Kenya has moved from producing 4.6 billion liters of milk to 5.2 billion liters of milk today. Kenya is now the largest milk producer in Africa. And that is a fact. And it is because of the interventions we have done in that sector. And we can say everything else on education. We have transformed education in a very fundamental way. We have sorted out the problems that we have with CBC. We have sorted out the teacher shortage. We have sorted out the infrastructure shortage. 21 universities have been declared insolvent. Today, because of the new funding model, our university education, our TVET education is on sound footing. Ask any vice chancellor, ask any principal of a TVET institution. That transformation is going on. When we go to all the other fields that have been explained to us, we can confidently say that we have been faithful to the implementation of the agenda upon which the people of Kenya had voted for this administration. And we are ready to face our competitors with our scorecard and ask them what they can do better than what we have done. That is the competition we want to have with our competitors. We do not want to compete on the basis of insults. We do not want to compete on the basis of all the other things that they are engaged in. We want to compete on the basis of transformation of our nation. Who has better ideas, who have a better scorecard, and who have a better plan for the future of the nation. And that is why, as I stand here, I want to encourage you, as leaders of UDA, part of the problem we have had is that we have had too much negativity. The reason why Professor has taken time, together with Seth and Kimani and Aaron, have taken time to explain to us, and the reason why you have a pamphlet, kila mtu wako na pamphlet hapa saizi, on the scorecard of the party, so that you can stand on any forum and explain to the people of Kenya where we were, where we are, and where we are going. Si kila mtu sasa hako na manifesto, hako na scorecard ya chama. Because we do not want to come to any constituency or any ward and we are struggling to tell the people what this administration has done. You allow people with propaganda na watu tu wa fitina waeleze wananchi hakuna kazi imefanyika. Today, as I talk to you, the roads that had stalled, nyinyi mnajua, when we came into office, most contractors had left sites. Majority of the contractors had left sites. Lakini leo, all the contractors are back. All of them. Kama kuna mahali maybe 5% ndio bado. Lakini 95% of the contractors are on site. They are working. And I want to confirm to you, we raised 175 billion. We are raising another 120 billion to make sure that all our contractors are on site until we complete the 6,000 kilometers of road that is going on in Kenya today. Hiyo program inaendelea. Program ya kwa mfano, nimeona dada yangu wa Mushomba yuko hapa. Pigeni makofi. We had a big problem with Mau Mau roads. Si ni kweli? And that was the quarrel wa Mushomba had with me. Maneno ya Mau Mau roads. And I want to say, when we came into office, only 20% of Mau Mau roads, only 20% of Mau Mau roads had gone on. About 600 kilometers of Mau Mau roads, only 20% had been done. Today, most of those roads are either 50, 60, 70% complete. And all contractors are on site. This year alone, we have allocated 2 billion shillings for Mau Mau roads. And we want to make sure we complete all the Mau Mau roads before 2027. So that we make sure that we can keep our promise to the people of Kenya as we spread road infrastructure across the Republic of Kenya. Tuko pamoja jameni? There was no way we were going to do all this when our economy was in tatters. And that is why we took time to consolidate our economy, to make sure that we make the right decision so that we can stand on a firm footing to drive our development agenda. And let me complete by saying the following. Now that we have a great scorecard that we are undertaking, most of the programs have been rolled into place. We now have a plan for the future because we need continuity. And because we have a plan for the future, you have heard us say that we now have a clear plan on how we are going to move our country to the first world. And we also are not just talking about a plan. We also know how to finance that plan. Because the problem with Kenya is not the absence of plans, is not the public, is not even money. It is the knowledge to understand how to craft innovative mechanisms of implementing and executing a plan. And that is what we have developed. We have an innovative plan on how to build roads. We have an innovative plan on how to drive our agenda into the future. And that is why we have said 3 things. Number 1, for Kenya to move to the first world, we must generate at least 10,000 megawatts of additional energy. Today, sikizeni ndugu zangu, today in Kenya, we have 3,300 megawatts of energy. 3,300 since independence. I went to Ethiopia this last year, about 3-4 months ago. We went to launch what is called the Gad Dam. In that dam, one dam, they are producing 5,400 megawatts. One dam. The whole of Kenya is 3,300. Munaona iko shida ama hakuna shida? Na ni shida hiyo ni kidogo ama ni kubwa? Shida hiyo ni kubwa sana. Sisi tunaelewana? And you know, we cannot drive our transformation if we do not have the energy to drive it. That is why we need to generate more energy. We cannot commit ourselves to industrialization if we do not generate energy. To generate that energy, we need between 10 and 12 billion dollars. That's about 1.5 trillion Kenya shillings. And do not worry, we will get the 1.5 trillion shillings. Tuko na njia ya kupata hiyo pesa. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that is the way we want to go. Let me give you an example. When I was invited to go to the United States by President Joe Biden, we signed an agreement between Kenya, Microsoft of America, and G42 of UAE to do data centers. Because that's the future. Technology is the future. And because we have green energy, America and UAE said Kenya is the right place so that we can use geothermal energy to drive our data centers. So tukaweka kidole ile kitu, tumefurahi sana. Mimi nimekuja hapa, nimetangaza maneno mzuri kabisa tu. Hii project ni ya karibu 1.2 billion dollars. Sasa kufanya assessment tukaambiwa data center moja inahitaji 1,000 megawatts of energy. Kenya mzima iko 3,000. Yani kuimplement hiyo data center moja, we have to shut down a third of the country. Sasa hiyo kitu ikakwama. Nyinyi mnanielewa? So going into the future, we cannot move Kenya forward unless we generate energy. And I want to tell you, we have enough energy. We have almost 10,000 megawatts in geothermal alone. We have 20,000 megawatts of energy in wind energy. We have enough reserves to generate sufficient energy to drive our industrialization, our manufacturing, and our technology progression. Tunaelewana? That is why we have said, as a country, in the next 5 to 7 years, we must generate 10,000 megawatts of energy, and we must have the resources to do it. Number two, we have also said, for us to move Kenya to the next level, we must stop living on the edge. It is a big shame that 60-something years after independence, we are still importing food into Kenya. For your information, we still import 500 billion of food into Kenya. Mahindi tuna import. Wheat we import. Rice we are importing. Edible oil we are importing. I don't know what we are importing. It's a big shame. And that is why we have said we need to transform our agriculture. The biggest potential we have today in agriculture is in our arid and semi-arid areas. That is the place where we have the most land. Galana Kulalu is an example. Many of the other areas is an example. That's why we have said we must build 50 mega dams, 200 medium-sized dams, and close to 1,000 other micro dams. Why? So that we can bring 2.5 million acres, additional million acres, into production. With 2.5 million acres under irrigation and modern infrastructure, we will not only stop importing food, because, and you know, if we stop importing food, we immediately, you know, save 500 billion shillings we used to import food into Kenya. And number two, we can now export more into the world, into the region, and globally. That is why we are undertaking that we are going to do this, and we want to begin that process. We have dams that have been in our books forever. It is time to actualize those dams. And then number three, we have said we cannot develop Kenya without infrastructure. We must have roads, we must have a railway, we must have an airport, we must develop our seaports. And we have the mechanism to do it. That is why we have mapped out, as I talk to you, we are mapping out an extra 28,000 kilometers. We want to make sure that we connect Kenya. We are mapping out 2,500 kilometers of dual carriageway. And we are mapping out a new airport and the new airport, for your information, will begin before June this year, here in Nairobi. Tunaelewana? We want to modernize our seaports. The whole of that plan will require another three enablers, which I want to tell you. Number one, education. We must fund education properly. And we must put more money in science, research, and technology. And that is why we are saying we are moving our budget to 2% of GDP for us to be able to have the highest quality of professional human capital that is going to support our journey into the first world. That is what other countries did. Number two, we must secure our country. We must make sure that there is security in every part of the Republic of Kenya. That is why we are investing resources in securing the country. And we are going to work together with you. How are we going to finance this project? We have told you this project is going to cost 5 trillion Kenya shillings. Mnasikia? It's going to cost how much? 5 trillion. Na hiyo kitu hiyo ni pesa tutapata. Don't relax. Hii pesa iko. Yes. Wakati tulisema tutafanya affordable housing, watu walitupiga makelele. Zakayo sijui nini. Leo contracts we have signed for affordable housing is 600 billion shillings of contracts in affordable housing in our markets and in our hostels. Kama ni pesa 600 billion tungeenda kukopa kwa IMF, tungekaa huko 10 years. Tukipiga magoti, simama, pinduka, enda pande hii. Lakini this is our own money. Nyinyi mnanielewa? So, this 5 trillion, watu wanasema hii ni wazimu. Well, inakaa kama wazimu. Lakini, we are going to deliver on it. How are we going to finance this 5 trillion? Tayari, for your information, tulikubaliana ya kwamba we are going to have alternative sources of revenue for us to finance our plan. We are going to bring in innovation. We are going to think outside the box for us to be able to finance our infrastructure. Number one, we have grown our savings significantly, vile DP amesema. And we grew our savings intentionally. Why? Because every country that has developed, whether it is China, whether it is Singapore, whether it is Korea, they have grown their savings. There is no way you can grow if you consume everything that you earn. Let me give you a basic example. Sijiongei mambo makubwa. Basic example. Tanzania today has a bigger social security fund than Kenya. Yet, Tanzania's economy is 60% of Kenya. Why? Because they made the decision on savings earlier than us. In Tanzania, you save by law 10% of your salary, 5% government saves on your behalf. In Kenya, we changed the law. In 2013, myself and Uhuru Kenyatta, we decided, because we sat down and we said, we need to change the law so that we don't remain backward when other countries are moving forward. We changed the law in 2013, ilienda kotini, kelele, siasa nini. But when I came into office, I straightened that. Today, everybody of us is paying 6% of their salary. The government or your employer is paying 6% for you, which is your money. We will get rid of old age poverty. Wale watu wanamaliza kazi wanaenda wanakufa kwa sababu hawana pension. We have gotten rid of that problem. Number two, we have built a big war chest for our development. Vile mulisikia, for 60 years, we had saved 312 billion shillings. For 60 years, pale NSSF. Kwa sababu tulikuwa tunasave shilingi 200 kila mwezi. When we changed the law, in 2 years, we have doubled what we saved in 60 years. Just in 2 years. Today at NSSF, we have 670 billion shillings. By next year, 2027, we will have 1 trillion shillings at NSSF. Tell me what's going to happen in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. In 10 years, we will not be borrowing money from China or any other country for that matter. We will be using our own savings to drive our development. That is what transformation looks like, friends. Nyinyi mnanielewa? That's what transformation looks like. And just for your information, that is how other countries have moved forward. Today, because Tanzania has a bigger social security fund, nilialikwa ati niende hapa hill. Imagine Tanzania, a smaller economy. Wako na pesa mingi mpaka wanakuja kununua shamba hapa hill, wanajenga nyumba ya gorofa 29 floors hapa. Because they are investing, sisi tumelala. Bado tunalipa 200. Hiyo inaitwa ujinga. Ama you can call it any other name, but that's what it is. So lazima tuachane na hiyo ujinga, sisi tusonge mbele. Tunaelewana jameni? Let us make the right decisions for this nation. And when we make the right decisions, we will see how Kenya is going to change. That is why you people seated here, don't just imagine that you are sitting here. You are sitting here because history has given you the opportunity to sit here. And we must acquit ourselves. We must be the generation. We must be the leaders that finally made Kenya the Kenya we all want it to be. Please, I want to beg, I want to ask of you. Nyinyi mnanielewa? And we can change this country in our lifetime. Mukisikia professor akisema in a generation, we can change this country. In the next 30 years, Kenya will be a first world country. Mungu atujalie. Inshallah. Ama namna gani, my friends? Si tuseme hivyo? And how are we going to do it? Already, I told you, we are going to find the resources. Today, as I talk to you, we have an opportunity to buy, as Kenyans, we have an opportunity to buy shares in Kenya Pipeline. Each and every one of us here, we have an opportunity to buy shares in Kenya Pipeline. Kenya Pipeline is not going to go away from Kenya. It's only that we will raise the money and let Kenyans own. It is part of democratizing ownership. It is part of democratizing wealth of our nation, so that each and every Kenyan can have access to owning what we have built together as a nation. So today, we are selling shares in Kenya Pipeline at the Nairobi Stock Exchange. And we are going to make sure that every Kenyan who has applied, first and foremost, gets their share before we move to anybody else. Many people I have heard have gone to Parliament to say, oh, you know, these shares of Kenya Pipeline have been overvalued. You know, hii share has been overvalued. Kwani mtu alikuwa anafikiri mali ya umma atakuja tu abebe hivi hivi? Hapana. Hii ni mali imejengwa over time, my friend. Hii ni mali imetengenezwa over time. So we have made sure that the people of Kenya get the best deal from their asset. Because it's not just us who are going to buy. There will be others who will buy. Sijui kama tunaelewana. So we have negotiated the best deal for the people of Kenya, so that that money is raised so that we can use it to develop our country. We will raise possibly 110 billion from that sale of Kenya Pipeline. And I have told the people of Kenya, in the past, corporations were privatized. The money was used to pay salaries and to pay debt. Let me say, for the avoidance of any doubt, the commitment I made to the people of Kenya, any money, proceeds of privatization from Kenya Pipeline, from Safaricom, or from any other entity will be used for only one purpose: to develop the infrastructure of Kenya. Not a single shilling is going to pay salary. Not a single shilling is going to pay debt. We are going to use that money to build additional wealth. We want, when we sell one piece of infrastructure, we develop 5 pieces of infrastructure, which can be sold later down the road. Nyie mnanielewa? Yes, that's what we are going to do. And with what we are going to do in the next 2 months, by God's grace, in the next 2 months, we are going to raise about 350 billion shillings from privatization at the capital market. How much are we going to raise? 350 billion. Nanielewa? Na hiyo 350 billion is going to enable us to build infrastructure worth 4 trillion Kenya shillings. Akili. That's what we are going to apply. Ni mnanielewa? Tuendelee ama tuendelee? Yes. Now, atusemi next election, in the next 2 months, we begin that journey. We are not talking about the next election. We are talking about now going into the future, into the next generation. So, with that money, we can be able to do the roads, we can be able to do the dams, we can be able to generate energy. So, if we have 4 trillion shillings this year, ile project yetu ilikuwa, program yetu ilikuwa trillion ngapi? 5. So this year we will raise 4. Imebaki 1 trillion. Hiyo tutafanya ukarabati kidogo kidogo, next year tumalize, Kenya isonge. Tunaelewana jameni? And we are very confident. We are going to tell the people of Kenya how we are going to do it. We stabilized the economy when nobody believed in us. We stabilized agriculture when nobody believed in us. We sorted out education when people thought it was impossible. We have sorted out health when people thought it was difficult. We are going to move Kenya from a third world country to a first world country in this generation. And that is why this meeting is important. You people sitting here, you are the people who will make that history happen. Tunaelewana? And that takes me to the next 2 items, and I want to take both of them together. The next 2 items is our party elections and the negotiations between UDA and ODM. How are those two connected to what we are having a conversation about? Unanielewa? They are important. The party elections that we carried out, in some areas very successful, in some areas not very successful, In some areas, we did not succeed to carry out the elections. But we have a brief from the National Election Board. Why is the party election important? And I want you to listen to me very carefully. The party elections are important because the party is a critical instrument. Any successful democracy has a robust political party and democratic framework. We have two ways of implementing our agenda. The countries that have succeeded, either they have succeeded because they are a dictatorship, where once the leader says we are going here, you cannot say no, and you cannot question. That is one way of moving the country forward. For us, we don't have that luxury. For us, we are a democratic country. And for a democratic country, the only instrument you have is a political party. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Because a political party goes beyond a community. It goes beyond a region. It goes beyond a religion, either one or the other. A political party unites people into one common vision and one common program. And that is why we are sitting here, from different parts of Kenya, from different religions, from different communities, but we are united by the fact that we believe in Kenya in a certain way. And that is why I want to encourage you. Successful countries that are democratic are built on the solid foundation of a political party. It is important for us. The political party is not the party leader. The political party is not the NEC or the NGZ. The political party is the grassroots. The polling station is where the political party is made or unmade. That polling station. So, I want to encourage you. If you go to any successful political party, its success is in the grassroots. We have positions of 580,000. Is that correct, NEB people? 540,000 positions for officials in the party. 20 people per polling center. 20 people per polling center. We carried out elections the other day. And many of the senior leaders here, members of parliament and MCAs, did not even bother to participate. Very few people participated. I give credit to Kirinyaga and Bomet. At least in those two counties, we saw many members come to participate. But in other counties, the participation was very low. You find 50 people came to vote in a polling center. 20 people came to vote in a polling center. 15. Tell me whether if 30 people came to vote in a polling center, do we say that election went well? Yes. So we have instructed the NEB, any polling center where less than 50 people voted, we repeat. Any polling center where less than 50 people voted, we do what? We repeat. And please, I want to ask you, as leaders, the grassroots is very important. The grassroots is very important. I want to encourage us here. Go and become chair of the ward in your county. those are the people who are going to decide for the party going forward. Nominations will be decided by the party going forward. Whether it is nominations of MPs, nominations of county assemblies, they will be decided by the party. And the party must have legitimacy. The legitimacy of the party comes from the membership voting for the party officials. You mnanielewa? Yes. We are going to redo this exercise where we did not do well, so that the person at the polling station, let me tell you, my friends, I have been in this politics for a while. I was a member of KANU. The reason why KANU succeeded for many years is because people were elected. Watu walikuwa wanapiga mlolongo kwa polling center kuchagua officials wa chama. The reason why ODM today is where it is because they carry out elections in the polling center. Are we together? So there is no other way. We have to have elected officials at the polling center. I know many of us here are friends. I also have friends. Even if your guy, the person you want at the polling station, if you think he's a good guy, he's loyal, he's good, he's hardworking, the people at the polling station may not have the same view. So, mwambie huyo mtu yako, wewe ni mtu yangu, wewe ni mtu mzuri sana, lakini twende tuchaguliwe kwa polling station. Akichaguliwa, huyo ndio mtu sawa. Mwingine akichaguliwa, ujue mambo ni hivyo. Sio kama tunaelewana? Kwa sababu sisi wote tuko na watu wetu, si ndio? Hata saa hii kuna watu wameandikwa tu kwa list ya chama, huyu ni chairman wa mahali fulani nini. Sisi tuliandika sisi watu hapa. Sasa hawa watu wetu tuliandika hawa tuwapeleke kwa raia. Once somebody has been voted for, you know, sisi hapa wengi wetu tumechaguliwa. You know the feeling once you are elected. You feel very good. Ama namna gani? Once you are elected. Let us also give a chance to somebody else to be elected at the polling station. So that the same feeling I feel when I'm elected president, you feel when you are elected a member of parliament, let another Kenyan feel the same at the polling center. Wacha hata yeye asimame hapo na kiburi yake aseme mimi nimechaguliwa hapa. Sisi ndio kusema kwa hivyo. Si ndio? Yes. Kwani mnafikiri hii feeling ya kuchaguliwa is only meant for us? Let us spread it. Let also another fellow hapo asimame hapo polling station aseme mimi ndio nimechaguliwa hapa na wananchi. Ndio tunasimamia maneno ya chama. That way you also create loyal members of the party. Once somebody has been elected, it is not easy for that person to walk away because they value the mandate they have been given. Even if amechaguliwa na watu 100, hawezi kutangaza ati nimechaguliwa na watu 100, anasema nimechaguliwa kama wewe. Si ndio? Ama namna gani? So, this is what I want to encourage us. Let us take this to the grassroots. That if you want us to build the party, we must go to the grassroots. And then we will do the wards, and then we will do the constituencies, and then we will do the counties, and then we will do the national elections here. Sawa sawa? Yes. And I want to encourage every politician here. There is no harm in you being a chair of a ward, a chair of a constituency, chair of a county. Sisi wote tusimame. That is how the party gets followership. We want to create a big party base. Tumeelewana? So that we don't keep saying maybe it is this or that or the other. Why? Why is it necessary for us to have a strong political party? It is necessary for us to have a strong political party because the transformation of a country goes beyond one leader. The transformation of a country goes beyond 5 years. It goes beyond 10 years. For us to have consistency You must have a political party that will provide the transition so that when one leader finishes, the same philosophy of transforming a nation continues with another leader and another leader and another generation. Yes, William Ruto is not going to complete this transformation. It's not going to happen in 5 years. It's going to take more, 10, 20, 30 years. For us to provide that transition, we must have a political party whose philosophy, vision, understanding, manifesto provides that transition into the future. That is why it is very important for us to build this political party. Also, this political party will also guarantee every one of you seated here, we are going to provide a platform for you to have an opportunity to demonstrate your leadership without necessarily the baggage of the community you come from. In a political party, we are all equal. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Tuko pamoja? That is how somebody from a minority will lead Kenya, because they belong to a political party that has networks everywhere, and he will be judged by his political party and the political party, what the political party believes, not because of the small community he comes from. That is how we are going to move together. Do you understand what I'm saying? We want the best leaders for this country. And we want to give a chance to each and every one of you to demonstrate your leadership. And the place to do it is in a political party. Hapo kwa uchaguzi, tumekubaliana na hawa viongozi. Mtu akitaka kuwa chairman wa ward, atapatiwa nafasi ya kuongelesha the delegates. Aseme. Sio tu mtu atikupigiwa kura hivi, apewe ambiwe haya simama hapo. Unataka kuwa chairman? Ndio. Okay? Tueleze. What are you going to do in furtherance of the implementation of the manifesto of the party? Ajitete hapo aseme namna hii. Yes. Then tunapiga alafu tunasongesha. Ama pale kwa constituency, hakuna mtu atapata atakuwa chairman ya constituency bure. Lazima kuwe na mtihani kidogo. Utuambie kama unaelewa manifesto ya chama, mambo implementation imefika wapi. Then we begin to grow leaders. How did Barack Obama become president of America? It was in the convention when he persuaded people that he knew what he's doing. We are going to provide an opportunity for you. CDP ameongea hapa. Sumempima. Sindio? Sinamna hiyo? These are the kind of opportunities we are going to give to everybody to display, their leadership. And then it doesn't matter the community you come from, it doesn't matter the region you come from. If you persuade all of us here that you have what it takes to be our leader, we will elect you, and Kenya will elect you, and we will move forward together. That is why a political party is important. Sio kama tumeelewana jameni. Mukitaka tumalize ukabila kwa uongozi wa Kenya, let us fashion our politics, not on the basis of individuals, but on the basis of a manifesto, a belief, a vision, a political party. Today, why do I have pressure? Why do many people say, William Ruto alituambia, he promised this, he promised this. It is because I was not elected by the community I come from. I was not elected because of the community I came from. I was elected because of the manifesto that we committed to the people of Kenya. And that is why they rightly are telling us, you told us this, we want to see it done. That is what politics should be like. Because if I was elected on the basis of the community I come from, as long as I belong to that community, I don't have to do anything. Ama? Yes. But because I was elected on the basis of a manifesto, a program, that's why many people apply pressure on us. And that is why we have worked very hard, by the way. We don't sleep. Because we have a target to meet. And we have a commitment to discharge to the people of Kenya. That is why I want to ask you, friends, we must go back. Elections are very expensive, but we have undertaken that we are going to repeat as many areas as possible. In fact, I think we are repeating almost 60% of the, how much? 80, almost, 80%. 80% will be repeated. We spent, just for your information, so that you know we are serious, we spent close to 120 million in the last election. We are ready to spend more money because the party is important. The party is important. Another friend of mine who is a member of parliament, I asked them, why didn't you, I didn't see you participating in the election. He said, hiyo hakuna haja ya hiyo mambo. Sasa mtajua iko haja. Sasa mtajua iko haja. Kwa sababu, I am also going to meet aspirants next week. Kwa sababu mimi sitaki watu watakuja kwa hii chama mwisho wakuje, they have not contributed anything to the party, alafu wakuje waseme wanataka tikiti ya chama. Yule mtu yote anataka kuwa aspirant akuje saa hii, tujenge chama pamoja. Si ndio? Tujenge chama pamoja. Pia na wao wakuje wa contribute kwa hii chama. Ndio wakati next year tunaongea nani atakupata tikiti gani kupitia kwa delegates na wale wengine na kupitia kwa wananchi, kila mtu awe Kuna viongozi hapa walikuja UDA last minute, 1 month, mwisho. Si ndio? Hawa contribute chochote, wamekuja wakabeba tikiti ya chama, wakahama wakabeba viti. Hapana, sasa kila mtu achangie before. Ndio nimesema waacha tuite wale wanasema mapema ndio best. Kila mtu akuje hapa tujenge chama pamoja. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Si ndio? Si tuendelee namna hiyo? Ama mnataka watu wakuje hapa mwisho wachukue? Si hata wanao wakuje wachangie. Hakuna kudandia. So kila mtu akuje hapa tushirikiane tujenge hii chama tukiwa pamoja. Ama mnasemaje jameni? Secondly, that is on political parties. Secondly, as you are aware, we have also, as we talk today, we have a broad-based government arrangement. Si ni kweli? Tulikuwa na matatizo, makelele, fujo, maandamano. Tukasema, in every challenge, there is a silver lining. And there is an opportunity if you look carefully. So in that challenge that we were undergoing, instead of focusing on the challenge, we decided to create an opportunity out of it. Today we have a broad-based government with our friends, the ODM party, and we have agreed that this broad-based has worked. Has it worked or has it not? Ule Mbadi si anaeleza maneno ya bottom up kuliko wengine wetu hapa? Ama? He's done a good job, right? And all the other members of ODM who have worked with us in government. And it is said, if it is working, don't fix it. Sindio? So what we have agreed with the leadership of ODM, that let us explore the option and the opportunity of having a coalition going into the next election. And it is because we want to broaden our base. Listen to me, guys. This election inakuja, we want to win by a margin of between 2 and 3 million. Mnanisikia? Wacha nirudie. This election, the last election, we won by a margin of 200,000. 200,000. This election, we must win by a margin of 2 to 3 million. Ndio tuunganishe Kenya, tutembee pamoja. And I am very clear in my mind, there is a reason, there is justification for us to consolidate the country into one. Listen to me. The position where I sit, there is enough for every Kenyan. One does not need to miss for the other one to get. There is an opportunity for all of us to fit in one government. And therefore, I have no doubt in my mind that we have what it takes, not just to win the next election, but to win it resoundingly so that we can drive our transformation agenda into the future. And not just into the future, into the next generation. Listen, we have a good scorecard. True or not true? We have a good scorecard. The professor here has explained to us. We have a very good scorecard. Number two, we have a good plan of transforming Kenya, from generating energy, modernizing our agriculture, and expanding our infrastructure. We have a good plan. We need a political strategy to win the next election and to consolidate the gains we are making in our scorecard and to be able to implement our plan going into the future. And that is why elections in our party, to consolidate our party, is important, and a coalition with ODM will now underwrite our transformation going into the future. It is the reason we have asked you guys to come here, so that you can agree with us that we go back and do elections properly. Sindio? And do elections properly. And number two, that we agree with the NEC, whom we had engaged, that we pursue negotiated coalition with ODM. Finally, our MCAs have asked three things. Number one, they asked us that they want independence of the county assemblies. I have signed the law, the bill into act. The only problem that is waiting is, as was explained here by the leader of majority in the National Assembly, we must rework the budget. And it is not possible, Kiruga. I know you said it must be done immediately, which is okay. We see your passion for it. But we will make sure that we do it in the next budget cycle. We will now separate the budget for the county assemblies from the budget of the county executive, so that the county assemblies can become independent. Are we together? It is just by operation of law. If it was possible for us to do it faster, we would have done it. But you know, those processes take long. So just my assurance to you, the law has been passed. We will make sure, because we have the majorities in both houses, we will make sure that we implement the autonomy of our county assemblies as per our commitment. We agree with you that we also need to implement the suggestions on pension. We want a governor, an MCA, or a speaker at the county assembly. When they do their 2 terms, at least they have a pension. Because many leaders when they get out of office, they go straight into squalor. Because the job we have is thankless sometimes. Yeah? You are a leader. Ukiamuka, unaamuka na watu. Unalala na watu. Siku yenye umekosa kiti, unaenda ukiendanga. So, we must secure that so that people who have occupied leadership positions do not become a disgrace to themselves and to the communities they represent. So, I want to assure you, the instructions of this council to the executive and to the legislature is that we expedite that exercise. And the two leaders here, mutuambie, hii maneno tunaweza kumaliza lini? In the next, what? Can we give it 90 days, 120 days? The budget process. Okay, so let's do this. Because it involves money, and we have agreed that as a council, we model it the way members of parliament wanafanya. It is contributory. Sindio? The same way the one for National Assembly and the Senate is contributory. So the MCAs also want to, it to be the same as the one for members of parliament. Let it be contributory. And by the next budget, we must implement the pensions for our county assemblies, speakers, and governors. Tumekubaliana hiyo? Sindio? And we want it to be reflected in our resolutions. That is what the... and then number 3, we have also... we have also recommended that the NADCO report be expedited. The two houses should expedite the NADCO report so that NGCDF is properly secured in the Constitution, that the Oversight Fund of Senate is also protected in the Constitution, and the National Government Affirmative Action Fund by our women reps is also put in the Constitution. And number 4, our ward fund is also secured in the Constitution. That forms part of the resolution of the National Governing Council. And it is now, once the National Governing Council resolves, it becomes an instruction. Sindio? Once it is resolved by the National Governing Council, it becomes an instruction to the executive and to the legislature to make sure that it is implemented. Tumekubaliana? Tumekubaliana? Now, I want to ask